Hi, my name's Lee Matthews and I'm a physiotherapist, and this is Pilates, Rehab, Relax. And today I'm back outside again. We're going to go for a walk along the coastline and we're heading over in this direction. There's a lighthouse that we're walking towards along the coastline, and the exciting thing is the other side of that there's some coastline where we might even see some seals as well from the top of the cliffs. So I'm going to talk to you in the meantime all about something we call values. So let's get going. Every person has aspirations. What do you want to do? Who do you want to be? How would you like to see yourself? And how would you like others to see you? For some people, it's spending quality time with your family. For other people, it might be learning a new skill. It might be creating things. You might enjoy making things or enjoying foreign travel. These are the things that make you who you are. This is your internal compass. So, like me walking towards this lighthouse, your values are the things that drive you in your life. They're the things that will take you through good and bad times. And they're the things that make you feel passionate about life, that bring you a sense of fulfillment and enjoyment. But unlike walking towards this lighthouse, it would be better to think of them like a direction on a compass. If I keep on going far enough, I'll eventually reach this lighthouse, but a value is something that keeps on going. In the same way, if you love someone, you might love them enough to marry them, but once you've achieved this goal, you don't stop loving that person, you keep on travelling in that same direction. I do a lot of work with people with long-term pain conditions, and anyone with a chronic pain condition knows that it impacts on every aspect of your life, from the time we spend doing things we enjoy, from relationships, and enjoying hobbies. Pain can chip away at all of those things until sometimes all we've got left is the things that we're duty bound to do, the things we're obliged to do. And so rather than having a rich and fulfilled life, we can just end up feeling like we're just existing alongside our pain condition. But the problem with pain is it's only natural human behaviour to avoid it, all that unpleasantness and the thoughts that go with it. But avoidance of these things and trying to stop pain altogether might not be an option. And trying to escape those thoughts, trying to escape pain itself, can absolutely consume us. It might be that we're so busy trying to bail out that boat that you actually don't see in front of you. So we may have short-term strategies that we've developed that seem to help, but actually when you look at them closely, they actually carry us in the opposite direction to our values. A good example being you stress about money, and then you feel low and go and spend some money on something to feel better, and then it feels great until your credit card bill comes in. So a short-term fix, something that relieves some of our anxiety, is actually contributing towards the overall problem. And that can be the same with pain as well. It isn't just pain conditions that move us away from our values. Sometimes even changes at work, pressures from elsewhere, can move us away from achieving the things we want to do or being the person we want to. I've got a bad pollen allergy, and even with medication it makes me sneeze horrifically and I get really sore eyes late May, early June. And I remember a few years ago I just stayed indoors for most of the summer. I avoided things like going cycling, I avoided going for walks, meeting up with friends, and I didn't sneeze as much. My eyes weren't as sore, but actually I was thoroughly miserable because actually I was also moving away from doing all the things I love and enjoy. I was actually walking in the opposite direction of that lighthouse that was my values. The impact of chronic pain on our life is far more profound than hay fever. Sometimes even getting through the day can be a challenge. We can see the loss of the things we love, and whilst we can't always return to these things in exactly the same way we did, if we consider what it was that gave us that sense of well-being, we can look at other ways of moving towards that same value. So there was a lady I once knew who enjoyed baking, but because of her back she wasn't able to stand for long enough to bake a cake. But what she found was that she could buy instant cake mix and use that instead. She wouldn't need to stand as long, and she was again able to bake a cake. And years ago she would have thought of that as cheating, But as it was, she was just glad to have made anything, and her family didn't know the difference. If we think about things just a little bit differently, or try and work out how we could get some of those bits of enjoyment by doing a task slightly differently, we can actually still move towards those same values. It could be that instead of having friends over, you meet them at a mutually convenient point, and then if you find you're not able to tolerate it any longer, you can make your excuses and leave. You aren't forced to sit there for hours and hours trying to entertain everyone and clean up after them. And it might be that you look at ways that you were creative previously and find other ways, but it might be you could find other things you could do that require less dexterity but still give you that sense of enjoyment and well-being. So what would you like your life to look like? Thinking about your values can be helpful because it can stop us from automatic thinking or just carrying on with habits because that's how we've always done things. And sometimes it can stop us from getting caught up in avoidance of pain altogether. And with chronic pain conditions, we know that pain is seldom a good indicator of damage or harm. So rather than avoiding pain altogether and spending all of our efforts fighting it or trying to hide from it, we actually encourage people to do small amounts of activity. And as long as that pain's well managed, it can actually mean that we live well with those symptoms rather than suffering from not having all the things we love in our life. And if there's lots of thoughts and feelings of distress to unpack alongside this, sometimes it needs a trained professional to help. It might be just to have someone you need to talk to, but you can actually access counselling services in the UK through things like talking therapies. You can look online for these. So with long-term pain conditions, as a physiotherapist, I might be encouraging you to do some very gentle stretching each day, because we know this can actually help you to move towards your values. It might help you to achieve your daily activities or the things that bring you joy. The other thing that we're also looking to do is exercises that involve gentle flowing movements. This might be things like Pilates, yoga or Tai Chi, as again, this can help to build up your activity levels. All of those activities should be with the aim of building you back towards something that you're looking to aspire to do, building towards one of your values, something you're looking to achieve. So we recognise that with a long-term pain condition, completely avoiding all pain might not be an option. And efforts to avoid pain can actually increase the suffering and distress in our life too. So pick something you really want more of in your life and start to think of ways you can get a little bit of it into each day. It might not have been the way you used to do stuff, but maybe doing things a little bit differently, maybe thinking things through, planning ahead a bit, or changing how you look at things a little can actually bring more joy into your life or more of a sense of fulfillment. And maybe next time you're on autopilot or doing something you always do, ask yourself, in the long term, in doing this, am I moving towards my values or away from it? Are you moving towards your lighthouse, the things that guide you in your life, or are you actually walking away from that lighthouse? Well, thanks for watching, guys. If you like the video, then click the like button. Don't forget you can leave a comment, give me some suggestions of future content you'd like to see, and if you wanted to keep up to date with my latest publications, then subscribe. Now I'm just walking around the corner here, and where the lighthouse is, there's some cliff tops, and you can see some seals from down below there, hopefully. So if I can get any good footage, I'll post it after this as well. Thanks for watching, take care, bye-bye. And after a lot of walking, I did eventually reach the windy cliff tops above Godrevy Lighthouse. And I've been there many times before as a child and as an adult. And if you're really lucky, just around the corner, you might see one or two seals. But on this occasion, we'd struck gold. There were loads of them. And whilst a lot of them were just sunbathing, there were a few out swimming. And with a good zoom lens, you could see the pups swimming and chasing after each other, whilst the adults just lay there. But then something really amazing happened. and they all decided to go for a swim at once. And then it was time to go home.